How could we possibly end the Capitol Forum without our famous segment called Chit Chat with Manoj? The popular host here is Mr. Manoj Singh, who is the CEO of Caesar Productions. Mr. Singh always brings in hot topics very true to life.
Welcome to Chit Chat with Manoj. I'm Manoj Singh. Hello, Adab, Namaste. Today we are going to talk about a very good topic, challenges of selecting a college and major. And joining me for this discussion today is on my left, Anish Jain. He's a pre-med student at Harvard University. On my right, Ashley Thomas. She is a major of hearing and speech at University of Maryland, College Park. Welcome to both of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So, the first question to both of you is, when did you start thinking about a college and a major, like when you were taking PSAT, in which year?
I'll go first then. So I started thinking about college and my college major around my junior year of high school. It was maybe midway through. We had just finished our first semester. I took my first SAT that time in December, and that's when I started thinking about where I wanted to go and what major I wanted to do. At the time, of course, like most students, I thought about, I want to go far away, be independent, somewhere on the West Coast, or, Harvard, Stanford, one of those places. And at the time, I was thinking either bioengineering or medicine.
Okay, what about you, Ashley?
I also started in my junior year of high school. I took my SAT in March, and I knew I wanted to stay in state because I knew I was planning on going to grad school. At that point, I was dead set on being a bio major.
Good, very nice. So, to what extent to both of you, your parents were involved in this decision, or provided you advised, or did they express their expectation or anything like that? I know in South Asian parents especially do express sometimes their own expectations, and that sometimes becomes challenging.
Yeah, I think like my mom and papa were very involved when it came to applying for college and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. I think because at the time I was a bit confused, especially about like my major, if I wanted to do medicine or at first, because I thought, maybe I can go to college and then from there decide if I wanted to do medicine or, if I should go, apply to like many BSMD programs at the time. And so I think that, in a way that was like a good pressure from my dad, especially where he said, honestly, Anish, just apply for them. Of course, you can apply to other colleges, that you want to go to, Washington University in St. Louis, Maryland, Duke, other places like that, but also apply to some BSMD programs like Howard University, George Washington University, Drexel University. So that was one expectation from my parents, and I think like my mom wanted me to stay close to home, and of course I think later towards the college process when I was applying, I realized, maybe it is better to stay close to home, and so that was the more expectation and pressure that came from my parents. And it was, in the end, it was positive. There was a lot of head-butting, obviously, as I think with any teenager and any like major life decision. But in the end, I think I took a bit of their advice, and it helped me also along the way.
My parents were definitely more hands-off with theirs. They kind of let me make the decisions and where I wanted to apply. They definitely pushed for staying in state because they knew they could pay for it if they stayed in state. But otherwise, it was all up to me.
Oh, okay. I know I know South Asian parents very well, so that's why I wanted to hear both the perspectives. In which school year then it became, you narrowed down your choices, you were more focused on, rather than applying to 20 universities, because everywhere you have to send fees and write an essay, and some are the obvious that you will not go, I mean, like you, and so when, in which year you became more focused on a limited number of colleges and you, some priorities maybe?
Definitely senior year. Beginning of senior year is when I started to narrow down and say, I'm really going to go here. Because our school does this nice thing where the councils say, here's some reach schools. These are like the Ivy Leagues, Stanfords, the Harvards, where it's very competitive for anyone to get in. So you may have a chance of getting in. Then you have like your semi-guaranteed school, some like University of Maryland, other places like that, where you have a pretty good shot. And then your safety schools where you get in for sure, just in case everything else falls through. And that's around the time I narrowed it down. Because like I said earlier, junior year, I really wanted to go everywhere and anywhere. Like I was thinking of all the different places anytime I got college mail, But I think around senior year, I thought, here like my 7, 8 schools I really want to go to. I applied to 2, 3 BSMD programs, and I applied University of Maryland, our in-state school, and then I applied some other places I wanted to go to: Duke, Washington University, St. Louis, University of Chicago. Like those are my personal preferences. So in a way, it was that's when I narrowed it down.
What about you, Ashley?
I definitely think it's the summer going into senior year when you've taken the SAT and you've seen what your scores are and kind of how you stack up against these other colleges, and you kind of narrow down which ones are a reach and which ones are close by.
Okay, so now you have this, a list, narrowed down list, and you have some priorities. Okay, if I do get into this, a wish list, like, and the backup plan.
Yeah.
So then, did you do visitations, and did that help in narrowing down your choices more after a orientation or a tour or something?
Yeah.
Ashley?
Definitely. I visited all the schools I applied to, and I did it before I applied to all the schools, and then again after I got in, and definitely walking around the campus, seeing classes made a huge difference in where I wanted to go.
Because I remember I was giving the same advice to my son, that at least go there. And he was very adamant on that. He was somehow new that all his friends either were going to College Park, that Dad, I want to go to College Park and I want to be near home. But I said, no, let's just go. So we took him to Rutgers and some other, because he was getting more scholarship there and better scholarship. But he was very focused. So what about you?
Yeah, for me also, like Ashley, visiting definitely made a big difference. I know for me, like University of Maryland, like my dad was always like, oh, go to Maryland. But I was like, no, Dad, I want to do more. And I always thought, oh, Maryland's not that great. But I think visiting really cemented Maryland as like one of my top 2, 3 choices. And I know like Washington University in St. Louis, when I visited, really made that like my number 1 choice. So visiting a college is extremely important. I would say that to anyone, that like even before you apply, you should visit. Like, because I know when I visited like Johns Hopkins, I thought about applying there before, but I visited my junior year and I found I didn't really like atmosphere that much. It didn't seem, very much for me. And so, it dissuaded me from applying there. And then like other places, sometimes visiting a college helps you apply there, like UVA. When I visited UVA at first, I thought, I was like, Mom, why do we have to take this long road trip? But then I visited and I thought, I really like it here, and that pushed me to apply there. So visiting a college is extremely important, because I think a very important piece of advice my counselor gave me is whenever you visit a college, it should feel like home, because you have to keep in mind you're going to spend the next 4 years of your life there, 4+ years there. So you need to make sure you feel at home there. So it's very important to visit.
Very good point. So it's the very follow-on question is, so looking back, what helped you the most in this decision? I mean, is this the Google research tools, counseling, guidance, teacher, or parents, or a combination of all? Any thoughts?
I think teachers definitely help. When you talk to them and hear like their experiences going to certain colleges and what they went through, it kind of helps guide you in a way.
I agree. I mean, I'll say why.
Yeah, same for me. I think, talking to my teachers gave me a lot of helpful advice, because of course, like I had like some really young teachers and also some, kind of older teachers. So they gave me a lot of good advice. And then also talking to like different family members, because I know like I'm in a BSMD program. Like my uncle also went to like very similar program at a different college. So I think like talking to family and teachers helps a lot. And then also like talking to like some of the people that go there, also like to those colleges, also helps you understand what it feels like.
Yeah, and this is a personal experience. When my son actually was making this decision, I realized that the teachers knew him more than me academically, like what his comfort zone is. So they were giving really good advice. They in fact told him not to go to College Park, because you were not a type who could survive in a big college. Go to something smaller where you can get personal counseling and all that. So it does help. I agree with that. So what do you think? Did you make the right choice? I mean, or still exploring? What happens? Some of them even come to college, and after junior year or even sophomore, they decide, oh, this is not for me. Let me try these subjects and I'll move in a different direction. So, I mean, what do you think?
I definitely made the right choice. I changed my major right before orientation started. And I definitely made a large college very small by picking a smaller major, and that made quite the difference.
Good, very good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, for me, I think I also made the right choice because I think before I chose, like, my two options really were University of Maryland or Howard University and then my BSMD program. And at first, I was very conflicted because I think with like a lot of young people, they struggle because all of my friends are going to Maryland. Maryland was closer to home and from a long time, And I'd interned at Maryland the year before as part of my senior year, so I was very accustomed to the campus and I was already like semi-accustomed to the life there, so I was very used to it. And then going to Howard would have been a big change, but I had my program there, so I had a lot of conflict going, but ultimately I chose Howard, and I think now looking back on it a year later, I really did make the right decision because it's not too far from home, it's not too far from my friends, and it's also a good opportunity for me, and it's different, living in the city, and it's a good change for me. I think I'm getting a lot of valuable life experience.
So I have a question, and this could be personal, but when you're all this decision making, was this, did you consider that, you must have of course done internship or a job or gone to volunteer at the hospital or something. Was this your passion that you at some point realized that this is what I want to do, and did that play a role?
I definitely had that breakthrough moment at my internship when I was like, you know what, I don't like bio as much as I thought I did. I really want to do this.
Good, very good. I really like that.
Yeah, same with me because I did a lot of volunteer work in high school, and I realized I really enjoyed, volunteer work, and then I volunteered at Johns Hopkins Hospital, and I realized, I really enjoy that, and I found like I really enjoy working with children, which is why I want to be a pediatrician, and so I think I am doing what I really want, honestly.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, most successful people, if you read their books, like Bill Gates, Michael Jordan, Bill Gates was a dropout, Michael Dell was a dropout, but doesn't matter in the end of the day because what they write is that when they started, it was their passion. They didn't realize that they'll become rich and famous and all that, but it does help a lot. And that's where you get your energy. So any last minute advice to high school students who are going through the same process and stress, and you would like to give to our audience, a younger generation? Ashley, or anyone can start first.
Just that it all works out in the end, that it's a lot of stress, but at the end you generally end up happy.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, same thing. Yeah, it really does work out, and you should really go to your teachers and your counselor and your parents for help. There's nothing wrong in doing it. They give the most helpful advice, and make sure you feel at home wherever you go to college, really.
Two very good advices. We're running out of time now. I have to close. Before I close, I'm going to read two very good quotes I came across. Nothing is as important as passion. No matter what you want to do with your life, be passionate. And you will relate to him, John Bon Jovi, famous, of course, rock singer. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Mahatma Gandhi. Very well said. Thank you all. Like I always said, life is short. Be happy and no regrets. Goodbye and all the best.
Before I close off, once more, the Capital Forum is here for you. We tell news, we spread stories, and we value your opinion. Join GTV